So what you want to know is, if you turbocharge your MX5, will you need to change the clutch? Well, the answer is no. And yes. Several years ago, when we started to turbocharge MX5s, we began to find the limit of the stock clutch. From our experience, a good condition OE replacement clutch will be fine at 7 psi on one of our TD04 conversions. This roughly equates to 190 foot-pound of torque. From then on, you will start to struggle. By 220 foot-pound of torque, the writing is on the wall for your stock clutch. To increase the torque holding capacity of a clutch, you have three basic options. 1. Increase its diameter. Realistically though, we can't do that as we're limited by the stock flywheel. 2. Increase the clamping force. We can do this a little, however much higher clamping forces put higher loads on the crank thrust bearings and will shorten their life. You will also need legs like Eddie Hall to drive the car in traffic. 3. Change the friction material to something with a higher coefficient of friction, something that grabs more. Most original equipment and replacement clutches use a material that's commonly referred to as organic. Trust me though, you'll not find this in the posh veg section of Sainsbury's. The black stuff used to be mostly asbestos, but is now likely to be cellulose based with glass fibre strands to help it hold together. As a side note, the use of asbestos was only banned in clutches in the UK in 1999. So if you're going to change your own clutch, make sure you wear a respirator. It's fairly easy to overheat organic material, and when it does overheat, the coefficient of friction falls off a cliff. We came up with our own clutch solution. It has an uprated pressure plate and uses a sintered metal friction material which has a much higher coefficient of friction than organic material. The result is a much higher torque holding capacity. Just ask Matt.
I'm Matt from Hybrid Tune, and I have a G19 clutch which I've now taken out of my car somewhere over 13,000 miles just to give it an inspection and see how it's getting on. As you can see, there is plenty of material left on the pads, and looks pretty good. No play in the boss.
Yep.
No play in the boss. Yeah, it's been flat shifted, drifted, burnouts and all sorts on it. It's looking pretty good. Withstanding some abuse and still going. It's going back in my car anyway.
We now have over 100 of these units in use all around the world in turbocharged MX5s and Miatas. I'm Doug from G19 Engineering, and I'll see you next week.